Guys, it's Real Man here, Truth of the Manosphere. So I want to talk about this guy, Chocolate Man, right? Chocolate Man. Used to be Chocolate Man in Thailand. Now he's Chocolate Man in a van. He talks about van life. I don't even watch this guy's channel, but here's the thing, right? You can see this guy, if you go to his older videos, he was in Pattaya, right? Thailand. Look at this, right? She wants more money. Pattaya GF are greedy. You see that? You see that? This is what these guys are about, man. Like, you spending your money on hookers. These chicks in Pattaya that these guys, passport bros, are dating, they are hookers, man. And they just out there to suck out your money. And look what happens to this dude, bro. Van life, leaving Thailand to live in a van, right? This is what happened to this guy. He was out there in Thailand. I don't know what he was doing, but yeah, it's obvious what he was doing. Putting his money down on his hooker girlfriend, putting his money down, taking her out to restaurants, taking her on trips to this country, this location, that location, and look how he ended up back in the States, broke, living in a van, bro. Like, this is the reality, man. This is the reality of when you go out to overseas, pretty much thinking that your money's gonna last. You get in a relationship and you realize that you are essentially you know, a broke dude because you end up coming back to the Western world. Look at this dude. Look how he's living, bro. Living in a white
My key with
van.
me because I do not want to get locked out of
Let's
my
get a
van.
good
But I
look at
did
this
just
van, bro. Let's get a good look at this. He's gonna show us.
or something. That's disgusting. Just it's like I got a bathroom right here. I just carry it over to the bathroom and I dump it in the bathroom. Doesn't seem that difficult. Or go to a Wendy's or a McDonald's or something, smuggle it in there. You know, this
Look
is
how
basically
he's
what I
living,
do.
bro. Look how he's living, talking about going to a Wendy's to use a bathroom, bro. These dudes are broke, these passport, bro. Look how he's living. Talking about, oh, I wanna I wanna travel the States in a van. Nah, bro, you're not doing that by choice. And where's the girl? Where's the little hooker girlfriend you had in Pattaya? Oh yeah, you couldn't afford to bring her back to the States. You couldn't afford to bring her back to the States because you ain't got money like that. Why did you even go out to Thailand? Are you that bad at money management? Like, you can't even afford to stay out in Thailand? Like, you're a loser. I mean, and that's the one thing that, these American chicks were saying about the passport, bro, that look how he's got a bed inside a van. And that's the one and that's the one thing that, like, they were talking about, right? Like, the American chicks, and I don't agree with American chicks on a lot of things, but one thing that I can safely say that they're correct about is most of these passport bro dudes are losers, man. I mean, I've shown you these guys. Look at what this guy is coming back to the States to do, man. Because they go out to these countries thinking that they're a big shot, thinking that they're bigger and better than what they are. And it's a lot of it comes down to arrogance, man. Like, you're living in the Western world, you're living basically breadline in the West. You're living breadline in the West, and you go out to these countries, right? You go out to these countries, and you think that it's the same, it's gonna be like that, but when you go out to these countries, now you get into a relationship, you're going on trips, you're eating out at restaurants pretty much every day, and it's a lot more expensive than the lifestyle you were living out there in the West. And these guys, they run out of money because they didn't go out there with that much money to begin with. They ain't got no real source of income, and it goes back to what I was saying before. The whole passport bro kind of mentality, even if they don't say that they are one, the whole mentality of these guys is a fantasy. It's a fantasy. You cannot stay out in these countries without a real source of income. You need a real online business that's on a Western income because nobody wants to go out to these countries um and live. I mean, some people do, but again, these countries are making it harder anyway. But nobody wants to go out to these countries and live like live like a local, live cheap. You want to go out to those countries and have a comfortable lifestyle, yeah, and you want to have a relationship, okay, you're gonna have to do it on a Western income. You guys ain't even making a low-end Western income. If you were making a low-end Western income, you wouldn't even be living like this, bro. Look at the title, Van Life. The struggle is real. Of course you're struggling because you came back to the States with nothing. You went out there, blew all your money on hookers and God knows what else, and you came back to the States broke, man. And that's the harsh reality. You're not the man that you think you are. Like I said, it's arrogance. A lot of these guys, they think they're bigger and better than what they really are. And this is the humbling. And like I said, the passport bro movement hasn't been around long enough. See, have spoken about guys on this channel, but the passport bro movement has been going on a long time. But the name and the trend on YouTube of guys doing this stuff, right, is fairly new. And what we're starting to see now is that guys are not able to make it work. They're not able to make it work because they don't have a real source of income out in these countries. They don't have online businesses. The vast majority of these guys do not have real, stable online businesses, so they ain't going to be able to stay out there. You would have been better off staying in America and doing a 50-50 with an American girl. Which, I mean, you can do that in the Western world. You can get into a 50-50 relationship. She's not going to be a lot younger than you, but at the end of the day, the reality is you ain't got the cash to basically be a sugar daddy out there in these countries. You ain't got the cash like that. But they think, oh yeah, I'm a big shot. Anybody can go out to another country for 6 months, a year, year and a half, 2 years, and play the big shot. But eventually you're gonna run out of money and you're gonna have to come running back to the Western world with your tail between your legs. So many guys have done it. And you coming running back to the Western world by yourself. You don't want to be by yourself. Because if you wanted to be by yourself, you wouldn't have been in a relationship out there in Thailand. You coming back to America to live homeless in a van, and you just proven all the naysayers right. You humiliate yourself, and because you're broke, I don't even think you'd really want to be on YouTube because it is humiliating at the end of the day. It is humiliating to be living, a, a decent lifestyle. Man, I wasn't really watching his content, but from what I've seen a little bit of it, you're going out there, you're living a decent lifestyle in Thailand, but then you gotta have to come back to America and live in a van like a hobo, like a bum. I mean, that is humiliating, but he has to showcase it to the people because this is his source of income, YouTube. And I've told people about YouTube. I mean, look at the views that he's getting. The views that he's getting are trash. I mean, how many views he getting on this? Like what, like 8K views? Bro, that is trash. Like you getting 8K views in 3 weeks. That's your source of income. Like you're a finished guy, man. Look at him. Look at his video titles. Like the guy is struggling. I mean, are you that bad at money management at your age? I mean, this shit is just embarrassing, bro. Like, these guys will never, ever, ever learn. They will never, ever, ever learn that, you know, this whole traveling overseas is not cheap. It's not cheap. I'm gonna be spending a lot more money overseas. Why? Because when you're in the Western world, you know how to live cheap. You've been living there your whole life. You know how to live cheap as you can. But when you go out to these countries, especially when you get into a relationship, and the kind of lifestyle that these guys live, you're gonna end up broke or coming broke and coming back home, or in worst case, dead. Like no joke, Howard, he ended up dead. I mean, in Mexico because of the drug usage and everything else. So this is not a good idea. Like you gotta be I would say build up multiple streams, but if you got one stream of income and a good amount of savings, then that's fine. One stream of solid, not YouTube, one stream of solid income and a good amount of savings, then you can go out overseas. And when I say good amount of savings, I'm talking about, six figures or at least minimum over 50 grand. I mean, and a solid income that will cover all your expenses and then some. These dudes ain't going out there with that. I mean, they can't even afford to stay out there. They ain't got no money in the bank. That's why they come back to the Western world broke. You're supposed to go out to these countries if you're retiring. That's different. Retirement, you can get away with less because you got less time to live. But then again, it depends what age you retire. But these guys, I mean, this guy is not that old. He looks about mid to late 40s. I mean, maybe early 50s. He's not that old. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, you want to go out there and have a young partner, but the truth of the matter is you're not that guy, bro. You're not that guy who can sustain it. You're not that guy. People need to be real with themselves and know what they are. I think that's one of the real flaws of a lot of these guys going out to these countries. They don't really know what they are. They think they're so much bigger and better than what they really are, but really what they are is are losers. I mean, and nobody wants to view themselves as a loser, but really what they are in real terms are average to below average men. Average to below average men don't get to date somebody half their age long term. You might be able to get away with it for a year, 2 years, but average to below average men ain't gonna do that. Now you think, oh, I'm in Thailand, I'm in the Philippines. It still takes money. And let's not forget, these countries are only gonna get more expensive over time. So if you're not really making any progress, you're always gonna end up coming back home. You think just because you touch down overseas, you can afford to stop making progress? Well, if you're a millionaire or you've got a few 100,000 and you're an older dude, I mean, 100,000 as a younger dude, that's not enough. But if you're like in your 70s, then a few 100,000, you can probably make it work depending on how long you live. But as a younger dude, I mean, that's not gonna work. You gotta keep making progress until you've covered your retirement and then some. Then you can, but these guys, they don't even work out in these countries. You really think that you're gonna just live off of, I don't know how this guy made his money, but he was probably just dependent on YouTube and a little bit of savings. That's probably how he did. And look how he ended up, broke, living in a white van. The dude ain't even got a proper motorhome. Talking about, oh, I want to travel America. I want to travel around America in a van. Yeah, but look at the van you're staying in, though. You don't even have a proper RV or a motorhome, something comfortable. You're living in because that's all you can afford. You're living in a little white van because that's all you can afford. You're broke. You're broke and homeless. And that's the reality of many of these passport bros that will return back home. Is the Unreal Man here, the truth of man's truth? If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe if you aren't already, and make sure that notification bell so you're informed every time I upload a new video.